Get my inner blues man going here. Method. Come on in, everybody. Today we are doing Reverend Gary Davis, Death Don't Have No Mercy. Thank you, Karen Toffel, for sponsoring this song, and thank you to all my patrons, everyone on PayPal, Patreon, people writing me checks and giving the value for value model. You guys make this video possible, so thank you, and a special thanks to Karen. Surprisingly, I have not done a blues song yet on this channel. Well, I guess you can count some of Town's stuff, right? Brand new companion. But the Reverend, holy cow, this guy can play guitar. By the end of this video, you're going to have an awesome understanding of the E minor pentatonic scale and different parts of the neck. You'll also know at least 3 ways to play the E minor chord by the end of this song. This is not a beginner piece. You will be able to fake it with the general chord progression. It's really not that difficult. E minor, A minor, normal A. There's a D7 in there and a B7. So you can always sing through it that way. But the hard part with this one is the leads, and it's not just because they're difficult. I think with some practice, you'll be able to wrap your hands around the notes. The hard part with blues in general is the timing. So this is one of these songs that you're going to have to listen to it at least 100 times, probably way more if you actually want to get the solo sections down. I mean, maybe 200 times, because it's all the phrasing. Sometimes it's a triplet, sometimes it's a dotted 8th note, and it's very difficult, but we play through it nice and slow. If you're new to Mike's Music Method, I do measure-by-measure breakdowns of the entire song. Remember, the tabs are free to download at mikesmusicmethod.com. If this song is too hard, I don't know what to tell you. I haven't done a bunch of blues, but check out the Travis picking playlist and check out some of the flat picking playlists that I'll throw up there in a second. And that'll get you going with playing. But if you're really eager to dive into the blues, let's just try this one together. The timestamps down below are going to be a great help. What I do here at Mike's Music Method is we do measure-by-measure breakdowns, but then at the end I'll have something called slow run, and that's when you can play along with me, the first verse really slow, the second verse really slow. So use this video how you need to use it, right? Don't always follow my pacing. I'm giving you all the information, but I'm giving you the information knowing that you can play and pause and learn things before you practice them. So depending on your skill level, that might mean you're only doing 4 measures every week. And that's fine. This is how we get good. We learn it. Our brain has to understand it before we start practicing it. And honestly, a song that's really difficult with a lot of fills and stuff, you're not going to be able to learn that much information in a short amount of time. So take it slow. If this piece takes you 3 months to learn, 6 months to learn, that's amazing. Because in 6 months, if you can actually play this song how the Reverend plays it, that is no small effort at all. So go slow. Treat it like a little study piece. You're only learning bits by bit. But it is so much fun. It's a really cool bluesy song. Let's do it. Measure 1. We've got an E minor chord, and he's just rolling through it. So simple enough start. I think he holds that first note a little longer. And then, second measure, we are sliding from 4 and 4. So I'm doing my middle finger, 4th fret of the D string. It's the 4th string. And then the 4th fret with my ring finger on the B string of the 2nd string. So I'm skipping that 3rd string there. It's 4 and 4, and I'm sliding, going up to 5. 4 and 4 to 5 and 5. And so at the beginning, you can just use your thumb, just an E minor from low 6 all the way up. Then I'm using thumb and pointer. I guess you could mute that middle one and just do a big heavy thumb. Measure 3, we start getting into E minor pentatonic stuff. So I'm hearing a slide from 10 to 12 on the second string. Then he jumps immediately to the 7th fret on the first string. So 10 to 12 on the second. We're sliding into an E, or sorry, into a B, 10 to 12. Then we hit the B again on the 7th fret of the E string. And I'm just hearing that. I'm not really hearing it on the same note. To me, something about that sounds more real, but you can always just slide 5 to 7 and do that. But it sounds cooler if you're doing 10 to 12 on the B string, then 7 on the first string, and then 7 again. Then we go up to 10, then back to 7. And whenever you're learning a lead, do it bite size, because the hardest part sometimes is not actually playing the notes, but getting the rhythmic phrasing. So make sure you're digesting all the rhythms bit by bit, so that when you put them together, you're actually still on time. And for me, this is by far the hardest part of the song. Like, I'm pretty good at, I grew up playing like metal, right? I grew up on Metallica and Megadeth and Slayer, and so my left hand's pretty quick, but getting the rhythmic phrasing for learning solos was always the hardest part for me, and that is true for this song. So we have that 10 to 12 slide. So after I do that, then at this 10, 10, 7, then on the second string, 10, 8, and then I'm doing open on the first string, so we have like a triplet in there. Triplet, open. Then the last note of the measure is the 3rd fret on the B string. So let's try that really slow. 3, 4. Sorry, I missed it. 3, 4. 3, 4. Don't move on until you got that. I know it's rhythmically complicated, but it sounds awesome, doesn't it? Already we're getting into some cool stuff. Measure 4, pretty goofy. We're starting off hitting the D and the B string are both open. I'm doing thumb and pointer there. So 4th and 2nd string. Then I move both those fingers down, so I'm going to do the 3rd and the 1st string now, but it's the 3rd fret on that 1st string. So I got open on 4 and 2, then open here on the G and the E string, but I'm holding that 3rd fret down. Then right after that, I'm doing 5, 3, oh. So after that pinch there. So with the pinch at the beginning. 3, 4. Then we go to an E minor. And then we make it like an E minor 7. So we play the E minor, just do the lower strings, maybe the lowest 3 or 4. Then I'm hitting the 2nd string, but I've got the 3rd fret down there. So I'm playing the note D, 3rd fret on that 2nd string. Let's go for measure 3 to get all this phrasing thus far. 3, 4. Then right into measure 5 here, I'm hitting the G and B string, that's 2 and 3 are both open. Then I'm putting down a B7 chord, but which is this way, right? We got from the A string 2, 1, 2, open 2. It's called a B7. So I got those 2 strings are open, and I'm putting down the B7, but I'm only hitting the 4th string. Then he hits the whole chord after that. So the 2 open, 4th string, then the lowest 3 in the chord. Then he does it again, but then immediately hitting open, and then going to the 2nd fret on the 4th string. Pretty confusing measure. So I'll play it a few times. 3, 4. Hitting the 2 open, then the whole chord. So again, got those 2 open. Put the chord down. I mean, I guess you could do that finger first, but then just know that that pointer finger is leading you into that B7 chord. And I'm not putting the pinky down like a full B7 because he doesn't hit the whole chord here, but that's what he's implying. So 2nd and 3rd, 1st fret on the D string, hit that low note to the B7 chord, hit it again, then I'm doing low E, so I'm lifting out of the chord there, and then doing that 2nd fret. So 2nd half of the measure is really easy, just chord, open, 2, staggered beginning is weird. And I know I'm being slow here, but this is tricky. Always bite-sized pieces. So the beginning is just 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And then the second half of the measure is 3 and 4. 3 and 4. And remember, this whole thing is swung, right? Long, short, long, short, long, short, long. Yep. Let's take it from 3 again, because I know this is tricky. 3, 4. Here we just have 2 slow E minors. And then he starts singing. So we did the intro. I have a feeling, I know some of the notes, if you actually go to flat.io and you look at it with the notations above it, it might be wrong. So for all of you sight readers, please forgive me. This rhythm is goofy, and that's my weakness. I am not very good at writing out rhythms. I just listen to the song until it's in my head. So measure 7, he just starts singing here, and it's just an E minor. Death don't have no mercy. Just 4 E minors in measure 7. Then in measure 8 we go to an A minor, and he does it twice. Then we go to a B7, but he just hits the low note in that B7, and then he strums the bigger chord, so it's just a 5th string. So one more time from 7. Death don't need no mercy in this land. Measure 9. Yeah, this riff is awesome. Again, it's just pentatonic in E minor. So let's do it. We've got a low E, and then he does all these triplet runs. 2nd fret on the 4th string, open on the G, and back to the 2nd fret on the 4th string. Now, I'm not letting those ring, right? You want them all to be staccato. That means each note is its own snap, right? We're not letting them ring. So I got 2, O, 2. So first triplet run, then I have O, 2, then O on the 5th string. Then, so that was, sorry, 4th string open, then the 2nd fret, then the 5th string open. That's that 3rd triplet. Then the ending is low G, 3 on the low one. Open on the 5th string, back to 3 there. So I'm alternate picking these because it's pretty fast, which means I'm going down, up, down, up, down, up every time. Not all players do that, and that's like a whole nother long video, you know, with right hand picking technique. All sorts of players do variations, so I'm not gonna bust you on that, but just know that doing all downs, you can do it, but it's gonna be pretty exhausting, and it's much easier to alternate pick it. So let's do a slow. 3, 4. And that open takes us into the next measure, which is 10 there, and after he hits the open, he just strums the rest of the E minor chord 3 times. Here we're on the 3rd and the 4th string in measure 11, and I'm doing the 3rd fret on the 3rd string, and then the 4th fret on the 4th string. And I'm sliding them up 1 fret each time. And you can use, I'm not sure it matters which fingers you use, I'm just using my dominant ones, so my pointer in my middle. Then we end the measure after 3 slides from 3, 4 to 4 and 5, move it back, slide up, move it back. So I'm smooth when I slide up, but then I'm stopping it, going back down, smooth. Really great bluesy sound. Then the triplet at the end, 2 on the D string, the 4th string, then open, and then 2 on the A string or the 5th string. So it's 3, 4. We'll go back and put the vocals in a second, but let's do measure 12 here. We got 2 A major chords now, which is really cool. He's playing with that tonality. It was minor a moment ago, now it's major. So we have 2 majors, then a quick open A after that second one. And he goes into a D7 chord, not a D major, but a D7. So we got A, open, D, Measure 13, pretty simple. We got a G chord, he hits that low G. Then I'm basically hitting the second, third, and the fourth string, the B, G, and D there. Then it's a slow walk, it's not a triplet here. And he goes open 1, 2 on the A string. And I'm doing it, make sure you land on your middle finger because we have to do the B7 there. Ring finger up to hit the second fret on the low string, and then we strum the chord again. So we just have the walking bass on that measure. And again, you can put the pinky down in case you accidentally hit the high string, but I'm just hearing be a little more sparse on the strumming there. So from that G chord in 13, 3, 4. Let's go from the verse, started in measure 7, and try to place some of these lyrics here. 3, 4. Death don't have no mercy in this land. Do the slides. Death don't have no mercy in his land. The hardest part is getting that triplet. Death don't have no mercy. Getting used to singing over a triplet. Death don't have no mercy in his land. Yeah. Taking it from measure 15, we just go back to E minor, but it's 6th string, hit the higher ones. He'll come to your house, he won't stay long. This measure is cool, it's fun, it's simple. Got open E, then we're doing open to 2 on the 5th string. So 6th string, then open 2, back to the low E. And there he hits that E minor 7 again. You can fret it however you want, but it's that E minor chord, but I have the pinky there. And I'm honestly just hitting these inside ones, so I'm doing 2, open, and then 3 on the 2nd string, but feel free to hold down that E minor, and just add the pinky 3rd fret on the 2nd string. Measure 17, just back to an A minor. At first he hits just maybe 5 and 4, and then they're bigger the next 3 times. Then, this is unexpected, I love this like flat 6 idea here. I messed that up, but it's a C chord, and we're doing that 3 times. That was right, yeah. So we got C, 2, 3, and then a quick open, and then we have a triplet at the end, which is 3rd fret on that low one, and then open 1. And it goes right back to a E minor. Does it twice, then back to the C. So I'm losing you. Let's go from 18 first. Low 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and triple it E minor back to C. Cool. Loop that until you got it, and then measure 20 here. Really cool. I love these triplets. So E minor, then a low G, and you can I'm snagging it with my pinky, but you can lift up the whole hand and get there with your ring finger if you want. Or he might just be doing that E minor like this. Right, you could just be doing it like almost like a power chord. So however you want to do that, but go to that 3rd fret. Then we do a triplet, open 1, 2 on the A string. Open 1, 2, and then again, once that 2 is placed, it's into that B7. But the first time is softer, sorry. Our triplet, low strum, big strum. Sorry. Yeah, so 3, 4. 3, 4. Rad. I'm kind of hitting both those end strums pretty big. You don't have to be super specific about it. Almost done with the verse. We'll put the lyrics in a moment. Measure 21, back to E minor. triplet part is just 3rd fret low E, then open on the A string, 2nd fret on the A, back to open. So 3, 0, 2, 0, then back on the E string, 3, 0, triplet, triplet. So 3, 4. And then 22 is just 4 E minors, and he ends the first verse. Let's sing it now from measure 7, but remember at the end of this video, check the timestamps down below, and I will have each section where I'm doing a slow run through nice and clean. So if you want to visit the intro and first verse at the end of the video, do that and jump back here. But let's just put the words to this once from measure 7. Real tricky, we'll go slow. 3, 4. Death don't have no mercy in his land. Don't have no mercy in his land. He come to your house, he won't stay long. Look in your bed, somebody be gone. Death don't have no mercy in his land. Yeah. He belts this one, so it's hard to do it slow. I'd probably lower the key if I were going to sing this one. I'd probably down tune my guitar to D or something, or C sharp, because you really got to shout it. But this is awesome. It is not easy to do both of those together, and I have to tell all you people out there, this doesn't happen overnight. Don't get discouraged. Like, this isn't, there's no way you should be keeping pace with me in this video unless you're a very, very good player. All this stuff has to be broken down measure by measure. You might be sitting with this video for a month or 2 months or 3 months, and that's totally fine and a normal part of the process. If it was any easier, then everyone out there would be an amazing guitarist. But it's not easy. It's a long journey. Go slow. Get each measure awesome before you move on, and that, I promise you, is a much quicker way to success. All right, the second verse. So here it's just variations on what we've already done. You could honestly get away, like, congratulations, you could honestly get away playing 90% of the song right now just by looping that first verse again and again when you sing it, and that would be totally acceptable. There are some solo parts that we'll do later, but the second verse is different enough to run through, so let's do it here. We got 21, 22, 23. We just got the E minors again. But then here in 24, the fill is different. We just got that low G, and then chromatic, open, 1, 2 on the A string. But remember, it's not a triplet there, it's just 1, 2, and 3. And then we hit the B7 there. And then measure 25. I always get confused because they're all different in this song. So 25 is the chord, an E minor, and then it's triplets. Triplet, triplet, triplet. There we go. So the first triplet sequence, remember them in groups of triplets, O, 2, O on the 4th string. Then the second one is 2, O, on the, still on the D string, and then 2 on the A string. So you have O, 2, O, and it's 2, O, 2. So make sure you got those two. Right, you want a nice, like, notice I'm not letting that D string ring when I go to the other one. I'm letting the meat of my middle finger kill it right when I go to the 5th string. And you'll notice whenever you're doing lead playing, you're going to want to mute that. Otherwise, every time you do open, you don't want it to ring out. I mean, there's certain situations where you do, but here you don't. So then when I go to play the A string, I'm touching with my middle finger that D string so it stops ringing. And then the last triplet is open on the A, 3rd fret on the E. So 5th string, then the 6th string is 3, O. You really want to ingrain those in your head, so 3, minor, then the triplets. Did I do that right? Yeah, then into the next measure here, we have just an E minor chord, but I'm hitting the 4th string, then strumming it, then hitting like the 5th and the 4th, and then strumming it. So it's kind of like low range, all of it, low range, all of it. Now, I love this measure because it's awful. So measure 27, he messes up. He makes a mistake, and it sounds... Now, if you pay attention, it's so incredibly atonal and awful. But because it's the blues and he's yelling, it just sounds so moody. But it's also awful because he's missing the chord. I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be doing the same thing that he did before. But here he goes high. It's okay. He's blind, right? We forgive him. Oh man, I can't even play it with my eyesight. So we forgive the man, okay? He, instead of going from 3 to 4, he's sliding from 4 to 5, 5 to 6. So even if you weren't blind, you're going to be making more mistakes than he is. So we'll give the Reverend a pass here. But if you want to play it how he does, the wrong way, he's instead of going from 3 to 4 to 4 and 5, he's 1 fret too high. And I don't know what he meant to do at the end there, but we have the high slides that are out of tune, and then he does the 4th fret on the D string, and then he does open on the G. I don't know what he actually meant to play there. I'm not sure, you know, after that, did he mean to do... I don't think he meant 3 open. It all sounds wrong to me, so I don't know what you want to do for this measure. I would probably repeat the same slides that we did before, and you can do that same little fill, whatever it was from the first verse. The donation pitch. To you who have pitched in, you know about the value for value model. To those of you who don't, what I do here at Mike's Music Method is the value for value model. None of my content is behind a paywall. I have over 150 tutorials that are all free. I generated the tabs myself. I went really slow, used my ear to the best of my ability, and I feel like these are, if not the best tabs on the internet, probably the best free tabs on the internet for a lot of these finger-picking songs. So that's a great service. Then I bring you these videos where I'm showing you measure by measure what fingers to use. I edit the video. You get the idea. It's a lot of value, a lot of my time, a lot of my talent, and a lot of my treasure gets poured into this YouTube channel. And I ask you to do the same. If you're getting value from the channel, please give some of your time, talent, or treasure back. And that's it. The way this works, and the reason I love it so much, is that I get emails all the time from young people, old people, kids in college, teenagers, whatever, people of all walks of life, but many of these people are in situations where they can't afford it or just can't prioritize music financially in their lives at the moment, and I understand that, and that's why I'm doing the value for value model. So everyone can access all this amazing content. I could very easily be charging, you know, $5, $7 a tab, but I don't. I want as many people as possible to learn. But all I'm asking in return is that those of you who can give, please consider whether that's, you know, monthly support, $50 a month, $25 a month, $100 a month. I don't know what this channel is worth to you. Some people are doing this in place of guitar lessons. It's like $150 a month. Or think of it in a way it's almost like charitable giving. By giving here, you're keeping these videos free for everyone in the world, essentially. So by chipping in, you really are giving people out there an education that they wouldn't otherwise be able to get their hands on. That's the value for value model. Let's keep going with the song, though. And of course, all the links, mikesmusicmethod.com, Patreon, PayPal. I've got a P.O. box that you can donate to. So no excuse not to give. There's many ways to do it. So if you can, please consider. Thank you. In 28, we have a different transition from the A to the D7. He does an A chord, but I love this voicing of it. He does an A7, so we have that A major, but then we have the 3rd fret on the 1st string. Just a great way to play an A7 chord. So first he does it low. It's low, high, high, and it's down, up, down. Right, we got it like you should get Strum It Like a Cowboy, by the way, my amazing ebook. StrumItLikeACowboy.com. It leads you to Mike'sMusicMethod.com. But guys, I have a new ebook. I won't blabble about it now, but it's all about right-hand strum technique. Very proud of this book. 80 pages long with video demos, almost 90 minutes of me. It's a book and, you know, accompanying DVD, but the DVD is just the YouTube video. And the book has time-linked, look at, I'm telling you about it because I'm so excited. All throughout the book, every example I give you, just click on it, and boom, it takes you to the YouTube video perfectly time-stamped where you're supposed to be in the video, and I explain said concept that I give you in detailed writing. And it's just all right hand picking technique, and it's going to make you awesome. You're going to get your down, down, miss, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, miss, up, down, up. And then we get into a lot of stuff that's happening in this song too, the whole like pick strum technique. Get some hammer-ons in there, do a little Carter scratch. If you're looking to get better at right hand technique, check out Strum It Like a Cowboy. But we were in 28, sorry, I got excited. So that A chord is low, then I'm strumming up and hitting most of the chord there. Then another down strum. So it's down, up, down. Then I jump to the 2nd fret on the lowest E string, and that might be awkward. I'm actually picking it, I know it's an up strum, but down, up, down. I'm picking it down just because I like the momentum of 2nd fret on that low E, and then open on the 4th string, the D string. 3, 4, down, up, down. Then right after that, we hit the D7 chord. So cool. This guy's use of rhythm is just unbelievable. A lot like John Hurt. You know, these blues guys just have this intuitive, awesome grasp of like syncopation and rhythm. Love it. And then 29 back to the G chord. So I think that was the same, just to hit the G, strum, strum, then a triplet. Right, 3, 0, 1, then to the B7. And then move that B7. So that was the same there. 31 is just the E minors. 32. I think that was similar too, but it's 2nd fret on the 4th string. Then open 2, then an E minor, and an E minor. So pretty easy. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Then the 33, we go to the A minor. Again, the first one's maybe just the lower strings. And to the C chord. I think we've seen that before. 1, 2, 3. Then we go to open. And then we have the triplet. 3, 0, 1. That chromatic thing again. To an E minor. To the C. E minor. A little bit different here in 36. We got the E minor. Straight to the G on that low string. Then open on the A. 2nd fret. Then we hit the 2nd fret again. So I don't know if he forgot to do the walk there, or he's just awesome at giving variation, right? 3, 4. .37 here is awesome. It's a pentatonic, but he throws in the F sharp as well, so he does give us a 2nd scale degree here, and it's. So we got open on the 6th string, just for 1 downbeat, and then here we have 8th notes, open on the 3rd, and then the 4th fret on the 4th. So G to the F sharp. Then we got the 2nd fret on the 4th string, but then he goes up to 2nd fret on the A string. So open 4, 2, 2. So with the open at the beginning. Then it ends with the triplet, but it's on the D string. We're used to doing it on the A, and here it's 0, 1, 2 on the 4th string. 3, 4. Then 38, we go to E minor. Just hit the low one, and then 3 times. Heck yeah. Guys are getting the feel now. I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit because we actually have a whole another verse, and then we'll take some time on the cool break. But verse 3 is also a little different. We'll go through it a little bit quicker here. 39, just E minors, then to A minor, to the B7. Pretty similar. 41's a little different. We have quarter note on low E, quarter note on the G string, 3rd string. 1, 2, and then have that same 2-2 idea from 4th string to 5th. Then the triplet again. So very similar to measure 37, but we don't have that 4th fret. So awesome. Can make entire like rock and roll riffs. Like if you're the Black Keys I don't know why I didn't think of this. All you have to do is you steal like one measure of a freaking lightning Hopkins. You steal one measure from a Lightning Hopkins song or a Reverend Gary Davis, and that's it. And then you take that one measure and put a distorted guitar on it, and it's your entire freaking song. And now I'm the black keys. Just get a drummer and a bass player. And then if you want to like change it, you just steal rhythms from the greats and you move it through the 1-4-5 progression, and you're the black keys. I'm a little envious and jealous, and you're selling millions of albums and touring and making all sorts of money. It's okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm okay. All right, 42, just back to the E minor. So this one's more sparse in 43. He's doing that slide again, right? 3 to 4, up to 4 and 5. Or you can slide from 2 and 3. I don't know why I wrote it different this time, but it's the same idea. Then it's different on the D string, 4th string, 2, O, then 2 on the A string. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Slide, slide, 2, O, 2. Right, you're seeing the variations on the themes here. And 44 is very similar. We don't have that low 2 this time. It's just that cool A7 that I like voiced like this. I don't know why I'm using my ring finger. You can use your middle or your ring. So it's down, up, down, then open A, and then the D7, D7. Then 45, we've seen a bunch. Walks into that B7. That's all the same, E minor. Sorry. That part's cool. So let's talk about that. 47, we got E minor, 2, 3, 4, and that and beat is an open on the A string there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have triplets here in 48. I'm doing 3, open 1, 2, right? That same chromatic walk, G, and then open 1. And then the next triplet is, so triplet, 3, 0, 1, triplet. Then we have 2 on the A string, then open 2 on the D string. So triplet, triplet. Then open on the low E. And then he hits that E7, right? It's the E minor chord with a 3rd fret down on the 2nd string. 49, A minor. 50 is just C. With that triplet again. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, triplet, and the B7, C. Another goofy, awesome measure here. And where are we? 52. We got the E minor to the G, like usual. But then we have open on the 5th and open on the 4th. The 2nd fret for the B7. So cool. Gah! My leg's falling asleep though. Give me a moment. Remember, do your wrist stretches and do your leopard crawl. So good for your posture. Take a break. All right, 156. We got this awesome little lead guitar break here. It is super cool. Let's try that from 55. Doing 3 to 5 on the B string, but I'm also hitting the G string with it. So I got that nice big slide there. Then open on the 1st string. Then I'm doing 3 again on the high E this time, but I'm also hitting the 2nd string with it. So the first 2 strings open in 3. Then 5, 3 on the high E. So that whole thing, 3, 4. Sorry, it should have been only open once. Cool. Next measure, 56. just sliding down from 5 to 3 on the B string, then open on the same string, then the B7, hitting the low ones, then the higher ones. So let's do those two measures together. 3, 4. So far, so good. 57 is awesome. We hit the low E, then we got 3 triplets in a row, so let's practice them how we've been doing them. Think in groups of 3. Triplet. So I'm doing 2 to 4 on the G string, sliding on the 3rd string, 2 to 4. Then open on the B string. Now remember, the second that slide ends, I'm releasing the pressure. I don't want it to ring. I mean, that's cool. But it's not for this song. So we're sliding 2 to 4, then open. That's our first triplet. Then I'm doing on the G string still, 3rd string, 2, O, and then a 2 on the 4th string. Then the last triplet, back to the 3rd string, back to the G string, open, 2, open. Think you got it? Let's try it all together. 3, 4. Ends that phrase on the 2nd fret of the D string. Then it's just E minor. 59 is goofy. So we go to... I never know how much theory and stuff to throw at you guys. But if you look at your A minor chord, it's just open, 1, 2. And if I wanted to raise that to A sharp minor, it would, instead of open 1, 2, I'd add 1 to everything. So it'd be 1, 2, 3. Right, so we can move this up, and these are all minor chords. Or if you know your B minor shape, right? If you go from the ground up, it's 2, 3, 4, simplified. So that's what he's doing way up here on 7, 8, 9, because it's E minor, and we're in E minor. So he's using that, this chordal idea, to create a melody. And he's sliding up, so we got that chromaticism. So he's underneath the chord at E flat, 6, 7, 8, and he slides it in to 7, 8, 9. Slide, and then the chord 2 more times. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Then the melody after that is 10, 7, 10, 7 on the 1st string, then 10, 8. Again, no hard rule on what fingers you should be using. If you got a big enough hand, then do your ring finger. If your hand's not that big, you can use your pinky. Doesn't matter. So 3, 4. Measure 60. We keep going with this run here. Sorry. We got open on the E. Then the 3rd fret on the B string is a D. So open, then 3 on the 2nd string, then open, 3 on the high one again. Open on the 4th string. And here, this is a D7 chord. You might see that 5, 7, 5 and be like, well, how is he thinking through this? But remember in the song, we went from that A to the D7. So he's soloing through the A, but then he's giving us that familiar D7. So again, if you take that A7 chord, which is just 2 and 2, and you were to move it up as like a bar, you'd get here, and that if you look only at the high string sets on that A7, it's open to open. So that would be 1, 3, 1. Would be A sharp 7, B7. And then move it up here, 5, 7, 5. That's implying a D7 chord. So that whole, we'll do both of those measures from 59, 3, 4. So freaking cool. In 61, we're just going to a G chord, but guess what? This C shape, if you were to play it without your 1st finger, you could bar that 1st finger as you chromatically move this up. I've got a video on this if you guys really want the theory and how to do this stuff. It's called How to Get Better at Guitar. And he's kind of, I don't like using the term cage system, but it's kind of helpful for a little while. I know it also causes confusion, but we do want to think through these shapes in a certain way. So I have a whole methodology of going through that and how to get better at guitar. But we're doing that C shape way up on the 10th fret. So my pinky is on the 10th fret of the A string. And then I've got 9 with my ring finger. Then 7 with my pointer. And then 8 with my middle finger. And then I got the pointer doing the 7th string again on the high one. If you're not familiar with that, it's going to take you a while to get used to. But that's what he's doing here in 61. And he's only hitting the low ones. So he's doing the low 2, so like the 5th and the 4th, then the high 3, then back to the low ones. And then we go to a B chord here. And it's just basically this big, 7th fret, like your normal bar chord shape, your E shape. Everyone knows this one, right? And guess what? That's taking the E chord and it's just moving it. So you can do that to quite a few shapes that most people aren't aware of to find how to play chords up high. Anyway, so he's hitting, again, like the 5th and you don't really need the low E. You can play it like this, but you can keep it there if you're more comfortable with it. Hitting 5 and 4, and then hitting the top 3. Really cool. So from 61, 3, 4... Yeah, 63 and 64 are goofy. Got that same E minor slide, sliding into 7, 8, 9. And it's slide up, down. Then he does 10, 10, 7, 10, 10, 7. Then the next measure, we got 10, 12, 10, 7. And you can pivot your whole hand and move it back down. Or you can just stretch like ring pinky or middle pinky, whatever's comfortable for your hand. And here it's back to that E minor shape, 7, 8, 9, but he's playing one string lower. So just think of it like your B minor, right? Your A minor shape, all the way up on the 7th fret. I'm just doing these 3, so it looks like an A minor chord, but it's way up high. So again, it's 7, 8, 9, 9. I'm doing it like that, but I suppose, again, you can just do it like an A minor, but way up on 9, 9, 8 instead of 2, 2, 1. I'm actually putting these down because you're already in that position. And so that, again, it's just that like B minor shape, but it feels awkward for a lot of people if you're not used to not doing the entire bar all the time. It feels weird to just put those down, but that's what he's doing there. He has that 7th fret, then I'm throwing down 8, 9 with my pinky, and then 9 above it with the ring. Yeah, so let's do those two together. 3, 4. And the rhythm there, because it's on an upbeat, it's a up, down is the strong, 1 and 2, and miss and 4. 1 and 2, and miss, up, down. And if you were to have gone through Strum It Like a Cowboy, that right hand would be a breeze for you, no problems at all. StrumItLikeACowboy.com, check it out. Whew, 65 is a doozy, guys. All right, we're going to try this. It's, again, just take your, big A bar chord here and simplify it, 5, 5, 6, 7. And we're playing with this idea here. We're hitting, he's got a heavy thumb. He's hitting like 4 and 3 together and at the same time pinching the first string. I mean, if you wanted to, you could get away with just strumming the whole chord there if you wanted to. But then right afterwards, we're hitting the first string again. Then the second time we're hitting a heavy thumb, but then I'm hitting the second string. So, 3, 4. First half of the measure. Then we have 7 with 5 again. So that's the same as the beginning. Right, and you can do a heavy thumb there again if you want, it doesn't matter. But definitely hit the first string with it, then the first string again. And then we have an ending with a triplet. So we go into melody mode and just get off the chord there. 5 on the first string, 8 on the second, back to 5 on the first. So 3, 4. kind of hybrid, right? That's really cool. We kind of finger pick it. And then I go into pick mode to get the melody notes there. And again, I'm not going to go through which fingers you should be doing this with. There are so many different ways to approach it where you can do that melody with these fingers. I prefer the attack of my thumb or even a thumb pick. One more time because it's hard. 3, 4. Now we go back to that chord, but so I'm still thinking of it as the A chord, but now my pinky's down on the 7th fret of the first string here in measure 66. And I'm just hitting, again, you can do a heavy thumb if you wanted, but I'm hitting 4 and 1, and they're both the 7th fret. And then I hit the first string again, then another triplet, 5, 8 on the 2nd string, open on the 1st. So it's then to an A chord. So 3, 4, triplet. Then we end on a triplet, and it's pretty noisy here. I'm hearing him hit the top 2 strings, then he's doing the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, and then open again on the top 2. And it's okay if you're hitting both on the way up and just farting out that 1st string, but sounding the 3rd fret on the 2nd. So more think of it like as a down-up strum, and just mute that high E there. If you're real lazy, there's no reason you couldn't hit both 3s. That sounds cool too. That's fine. So real slow from 65. I need to practice this too. 3, 4. That's still too fast, isn't it? So 3, 4. That's a rough measure. But I think you guys got it. Practice it slow. I'll practice it too. 67. This one's cool. Again, we're taking that A chord and moving it up. So we got 3, 5, 5. And I'm doing pointer, pinky, ring. And if you wanted to get even lower, you would do your middle. But I don't know that you really have to hit the D string. That's up to you. And we got down, up, down, and then on the last up, it's just open. Then I'm gonna, so yeah, C chord is down, up, down, then lift it, do open and open. Then I'm gonna bend the 5th fret here. Not a big bend, just half step. Then I'm gonna hit the 3rd fret, but I'm also gonna hit the 4th string open with it. So 4th string and 1st string. I got the 3 down there, so 3, 4. Cool if you're dirty, because when you get it up to speed, some of that grit adds to it. 68, finally get a break here, sliding from 5 to 3 on the 2nd string, then open. Then I think we've seen this earlier in the song. Then that note B, right 2nd fret A string, then the B7 chord. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Let's keep going. 69. Seen this, but it's an E minor, open, then hit the chord, then 2 sets of triplets, that low G, then open 2 on the A string, 3, 0, 2, then we end it with backwards, open, 3, kind of backwards, open, 3rd fret on the low string, open. So it's E minor. 70 is just hit the 4th string on that E chord and then strum it. Yeah. Again, slow run throughs. I'll have that part all the way through, nice and slow for you. And don't forget, you got to get the yeah. Always in between the leads of baby. He's got the best like little in between them. Lightning Hopkins is also a master at those. We need a word for that. Is there a proper word for that? All right, measure 72. We are at the 2nd cool little guitar solo part or guitar break or whatever you want to call it. And make you guys talk. what does he say there? Make something talk? I need to listen again. Make you talk. So we're sliding 3 to 5 on the B string, on the second string. And I'm doing open 3. And then bending 5. Releasing the bend. Sorry, I should have said that before. You want to release the bend. And then it goes down to 3. 3 to 5, open 3, bend the 5. Then 73, we've seen before. Sliding down 5, 3, open, then the B7. 74 is a fast one, and it's going to hurt when you practice it a lot. Let's try this. So, hit open, easy enough. Now we're sliding from 1 to 2, or sorry, you can do just 2 and 3. It can be a half step slide, that's fine. So 2 to 3 to 3 and 4 on the second and third string. But after I hit them both and slide, I'm going to hit the second and then the third. So hit them both and slide, then hit the second and the third. It's just really fast is the problem. So slide, second, third, slide, second, third. And the way I'm doing it is I'm picking down, then up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. And it's super tiring. I kind of been playing a lot today too, so it hurts. Take that slow. Then the measure ends. Second fret on the third string, open on the second, and then second fret on the fourth. Or it's a note A, B, E. So 3, 4. One more time. But then it continues in the next measure. But it's kind of easy. We got a triplet on open 2, open on the G string, then second fret on the D string, the fourth. Whole thing, 3, 4. Then E minor twice. Yes. Measure 76, come to me, baby. Love how it's a song about death, but the bridge with the guitar solo, it's still got to have some sort of sexual innuendo in there, you know? Just totally out of place. Or maybe I'm the perv and reading into it wrong, but I don't think so. 77. Sliding really quick. I suppose you can do a bend, but I think it's a really quick slide. A quick 5, 6, 5. Or you can do a hammer on pull off. So either hammer on pull off or slide 5, 6, 5, and open. Then we have that D7 shape again, 5, 7, 5, but he hits open on the fourth string. Then a quick first string before he hits the chord there. So the end of the measure is just open on the fourth, then the first string, and then the chord. And I'm just doing 5, 7, 5. I'm barring that 5th fret and then adding my ring finger. So that whole measure, 3, 4. 78 is going to be familiar, way up to that G chord using the C shape. Then 79, things start to get goofy here. So we come out of that G into the B again. Do the low hits, there's a big B. High, high, and then we slide back into the E minor, talk to me. So here, this is where I really lose the rhythm, and the only way I can get a rhythm is if I listen to something 100 times. But not only that, when it's really fast, my brain doesn't catch it, so I have to slow down the recording. If I'm going to get something exact, I'm doing like even 0.5 speed, really slow, and I'm just playing it enough times until I can hum it. Because often, like I said earlier in this video, the hardest part of learning a lead is actually the phrasing. It's not always that hard to get the notes, but actually remembering the phrasing and the rhythms of each phrase, because when it's a solo, they almost appear nonsensical because there's not really a simple order to it, and you're memorizing all these weird phrases, and it's hard to keep them together. So go slow until you can hum it, otherwise you're not going to be able to play it. If you can't hum the darn thing, you're not going to be able to play it. So we come from that slide at the end of, whatever, 78 there. Or, yeah, 78? No, 70, 79. So we got the slide, and then we do an up strum. Then the next measure, 80, starts with the down. So we have down, down, 7, 10. And back to 10, 7. Kind of a tricky rhythm there. So 81, we move the hand up. Or you can stretch like we did before. 10, 12, 10, 7 on that high E string. Short break there. Then you bend the 10 on the second string. Then down to 8 on the second string. So it's... But then it keeps going. This is why it's hard to keep these rhythms together. I'll just show you how to play all of it. Then 82 is open. Open, and then I'm hitting 4 and 4. I know that sounds out of tune. And the way I'm thinking about this is instead of doing the A chord here on 5, 5, 7, sorry, 5, 5, 6, 7, he's on A flat. So he's coming into the A flat chord open, hitting the 4s, then he's hitting the 4th string. So think of that all as a chord there. And then he moves it up to the A. Weird first half of the measure, right? We got open, hit the 4s, but I'm putting the whole A flat chord down there. Then I'm hitting the 4th string. Then moving it up and hitting only the top 2. Then after we do that second half of the measure, you can kind of just strum this next one. It might be easier, or you can like do the finger picking kind of pinch thing. Hitting the 4th string in the top 2 with the pointer in the middle, or strum the whole thing. Yeah, you can just strum it, it's probably easier. Then I'm doing 8 on the second string and then 5, 7. That part of the measure is easier. Yeah, way easier just to strum it. So let's play all of 82 together, pretty tricky. 3, 4. A little slower. 3, 4. 83 is also a bit weird. We're doing 5 and 5 on the top 2, and then 7, 5 on the second string. Now I'm going to have open A, but also the note D, and I'm going to do the 3rd fret of the second string here. And I'm hitting both of those at the same, or not at the same time, sorry. Open on A, then I'm going to 3rd fret on the second string. Then here I'm hitting the D, the 4th and the 1st string open. So the D and the E. Then I end on the 3rd fret. So let me explain that one more time. Open A, 3rd fret on the 2nd string. Then I'm pinching the 4th and the 2nd string, or sorry, the 4th and the 1st string are both open. And then 3rd fret. There's a melody note on the 1st string. We got it, so let's try that. 3, 4. And sorry, the timing's goofy. Let's just come in right away. 3, 4. Cool. Here we have a C chord, and I'm just doing it like that A shape up here. I suppose you could just hit it here and then move it. Yeah, let's rewrite the tab here. That's easier. So hit the C chord, then do open, then 3, and then 5. And we're going to bend that 5. So C chord, open E, 3, 5. And the song I was hearing it this way, like doing the C there. That's going to be harder. Then we just descend it. 5, 3, 0 is the ending. So C chord. 0, 5, 3. Sorry. 0, 3, 5, 5, 3, 0. And he pauses for a second. 85. 3rd fret, 2nd string. Then I'm pinching the 4th and 2nd string, both open. Then the 2nd fret on the G string. But I'm doing that with my ring finger because now we have the B7. I'm doing down, up, down, low strings, high, low. So that measure 85, 3, 4. chord with the... So let's play 85 together. It's kind of weird because there's a rest on the first beat, and then we come in on the and of that beat. Rest, and 3, 4, rest. Measure 86, we go back into that E minor slide, hit that low 6 string. But the second to last hit, I'm adding the pinky on the 10th fret and putting it right back up. I'm just doing pick, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. There's the pinky there. Pick, down, up, down, up, down. Then I'm bending the 5 here, and we're like releasing it. And I'm playing 3, open, then an E minor chord, but this E minor is the D minor chord, moved up 2 frets, right? So. Then we go to a B7, pick that 5th string, strum it, then E minor. And I think he hits the 3rd string. Here's a slow run through of the first verse up to measure 22 here. So we kind of free form it at the beginning on that E minor. There's really no rhythm. Then 3, 4, slide, 2, 3, 4. Let's do verse 2 for measure 23. I'm not going to play the wrong notes like he does. I'm going to play it like we did in the first verse. 3, 4, E minor. So the slides here. Verse 3, measure 39. For some reason, the whether it's an eighth note or a triplet here, I get confused, but I'll warn you. 2, 3, 4, E minor, A minor, to the B7. Here these are straight. 1, 2, 3, and triplet, boom. We slide it. the break at measure 55. We're going to take this really slow. The notes are hard enough, right? But it's the timing that's super tricky. So I'm going to try and nail this for you so you can hear it. 2, 3, 4. I think I got it. I'm not sure. Let's go from 59 because I keep botching it, and it's hard because the slide is part of the triplet, so it's triplet hit, so let's do that. 3, 4, triplet hit, triplet, triplet. Slower this time. Let's do the coda at 72. This rhythm is even goofier, and I haven't obsessed on this song, so I'm teaching to you all. But if you really want to get, real good and nail that rhythm, you're going to have to listen to it hundreds of times. At least my mind has to, and I'm not quite there yet, but I will try my best. Let's do this from 72. 3, 4. Sorry, from that C, 3, 4. Probably making really funny faces. I'm trying really hard to get this part down. That is really difficult. For me, 80, 81 going into 82 is super weird. So let's take it from 82 because that's kind of a strange part. We got 3, 4, rest, rest. Yeah. One little note as I'm playing this, in 84, if getting to that C chord is too hard, you could probably just do it as an open C, and then just play that 5 as open on the next string. Depends how your bar chords are. Congrats, guys. Boom! You did it.